Hello everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we're continuing Super Mario Bros. 3! Last time we got started with this game by clearing up the first two worlds and making about halfway through the third world, which is the Waterland. This time we're going to be progressing even further through this game that I love so much. Now, with the current path set for us, we could head over on the main path to level 6. However, we still got level 5 we want to deal with. And as I explained before, we are doing every level in this game during this Let's Play. So, let's just hop right into level 5. So we're starting off with another underwater stage. So this one should be pretty alright. And depending on how things go here, there is something I would like to show off. Got that big fish there that we're very accustomed to from one of our earlier adventures. One of the previous levels we played, that was of course Big Bertha. But this version underwater is a lot tame compared to the last one we encountered, as she will just swim back and forth, occasionally will spit out a baby, and that's pretty much all there is with her. We also got these electric jellyfish that are all over this place, and you don't want to touch those, as they will of course damage you. What I'd like to do is grab this fire flower, which will give us some much needed artillery against some of the enemies around here. Especially the cheats and the bloopers, like this rascal over here. Just want to be very careful as we're down here. So, and there's another power that'd be really good for this area, but I didn't think to equip it for this, but that's okay. So we are done here. Very nice. Just hop across the water there, and already grabbing ourselves some more lives. Very good. So we're gonna need all the lives we can get for some of the later stages in this game. Alright, so now we've taken care of that. The path forward is ahead. Of course, we got these bridges connecting the different islands here that we'll also need to worry about. But shouldn't be too bad. And we got ourselves another auto-scroller. This one, of course, having these donut platforms that we need to deal with, as well as these spinning platforms. So we want to be very careful of those, because those can launch you, and be very nasty if you just so happen to be launched by it. Just pick up this ice block here and knock that into that block, giving us easy access to a raccoon power. Very helpful. Jump over here, so we can, of course, grab some more coins and maybe some other goodies by whacking them with our tail. So be sure to knock away any of these Koopa Troopas that are around. So we got a... Oh, we missed a life there, but we did manage to get that P-switch, getting us some additional coins here. And we got a very tricky jump we need to make here. Thankfully, we do have the raccoon tail, which makes getting across there very simple for us. Woo! That takes care of another stage. Quite an easy one, I must say. But things are definitely going to get harder from here on out. So moving on to level 7. But this one is going to be pretty interesting for one main reason. Got ourselves some new enemies. So these guys are called Spike. They're a recurring enemy throughout the Mario series that got their first appearance here in Mario Bros. 3. These guys will pull these giant spike balls out from their mouths and then chuck them at you as a projectile. So you want to be careful. And also watch when trying to jump on these guys, because if you try to jump on top of them when they are spitting out a ball, that will be fatal. If we avoid all that, we can get right to the end. That one's actually pretty tense. Also a big fan of Spike, because that particular enemy model was used in the web series SMG4 for a certain character who I know is very well liked. Alright, we got the card game again. Let's see what we're able to get. So 1-up and a star there. Let's grab a mushroom. And that had a star. Okay. There's nothing too amazing over there. But we got ourselves another fortress we can take care of. This one isn't required to beat this world, it seems. But it is nice to clear as many of these as we can going through here. So now we got an underwater fortress. Reminds me of one of the fortresses in a Super Mario World, as that one also has you exploring it underwater. Almost feels like we're going through this fortress's plumbing system. And we got ourselves an interesting hazard here. These are boo bars, I believe, is the technical term. They got boos hiding inside of them, and they will peek out from time to time. So you gotta be very careful when you are maneuvering across those things. We managed to reach the end, which means time for another encounter with Boom Boom. Let's see what we can do about this guy. He tried to sprout wings on us, but there was nothing else he could have done. Gotta be real, Boom Boom is kind of a pretty darn easy mini-boss to take care of, since it is just very easy to jump on his head after you manage to get a strike on him. It's very easy to deal with. Just missed out on some more lives. That's okay. Let's move over here to level 8. Oh, we got another Big Bertha level to deal with. This one is going to be harder because of that. Alright, we are definitely going to need some firepower for this one. Let's go in our items and see what we have. I think we have another fire flower that could be helpful here. So yeah, this stage is definitely going to be much harder than the last one we did that had Big Bertha in it. So I'm going to be very careful when maneuvering around here. Also got these ice blocks that we can use a projectile from time to time. So those are nice to keep a hold of. No! Oh boy. Very tempted to use one of these, but I want to save that for a bit later. Got certain options here. We have another fire flower. We'll take this. This is such a hard stage to deal with, so make sure we have as much firepower as we can. Also grab a fire flower from up there. Ooh, that was close. Just take care of this Bertha. It's pretty funny. Back in the original Mario Bros. Movie from, like, way back in the day, there was a character with the same name as Big Bertha, but they were quite an interesting character, if you're familiar at all with the character design there. Aw, man, that movie was just wild for anyone who remembers that back in the day. It's a very old movie, so I can definitely see a lot of people these days not being aware of it, but it was definitely something. So I'm just comparing that to, like, the new Mario movie we got done by Illumination. Yeah, but it's very easy to see that one of those is a lot more faithful to the source material. I mean, they're both interesting movies for different reasons. Oh, this is bad. Bad. Please, don't! Okay, we are gonna miss out on that, unfortunately. What am I doing? We can go up here. Alright, I believe we were careful enough we could have gotten some items there, but it's alright. Managed to make it to the end here. Across the bridge, over, back to the land. Just barely missed out on getting 5 lives, but at least we got 1. To make up for the lives we squandered in that stage. Yeah, that's definitely one of the harder levels we've encountered so far. So this one... I forget exactly what we can expect here. So I got these Bill Blasters, of course, which will fire the bullet bills at us. And, oh, we got these guys! So those are bombs, enemies that were originally introduced in Super Mario Bros. 2. These guys, if you hit them, they will set and will explode after a few seconds. So you want to be very careful not to get hit by the explosion when they're close by. Yeah, those guys can be a little bit of a pain as we're going through here. They're also resistant to fire, believe it or not, despite the fact that, you know, they're bombs. We should be pretty good here. Let's grab one up here if we're careful. Come on. Yep, there it is. Alright, we grabbed that. Very good. And then we're heading on down as we got an underwater section here. I mean, it's only fitting. This is the last level of this world, so of course there's got to be more water. And I forget exactly where we're going to want to go here. Just want to kind of see around all the different corners to make sure that we haven't missed anything around here. So got this pipe over here. So that takes us, to a secret up here. Sadly we don't have the means of being able to get up there, so... I mean, if we were able to... If we do this right, now that I know what's over there, we could grab it. Lost my fire there. It's not really good to lose in the underwater stages. Obviously. Right, can we... just managed to get over there. And with that, we got ourselves, at last, we can show off the frog suit. So this is a quite unique power. It is not really all that great in most stages, but it makes traversal underwater so much easier. As you don't have to worry about just pressing one button repeatedly to swim, just move the stick, and you are pretty much good to just travel wherever you want underwater. It's quite handy, but it's only useful in a select few levels. As we can show off here, we hop around the ground and we hardly build up any momentum when we're using the frog suit on land. So yeah, it's a very situational power, but I like it just for the gimmick of being able to dress up as a frog. It's quite an adorable little power-up. And with that, we finally managed to make our way over to the island over here. So we got ourselves a new castle.
Oh, it's terrible! The king has been transformed! Please find the magic wand so we can change him back!
So the king this time has been turned into a Dino Rhino from Super Mario World. It's kind of obvious, but the transformations the kings undergo is very different depending on the version of the game you're playing. The NES version, they have different transformations. So be careful of those rocky wrenches here. Not really in the best power for tackling these kind of challenges here. I do want to see how far we can get with the frog suit, because it's a very unique power. And like, ow. Unfortunately, you can't duck with the thing, so that's completely toast. So they got these little mechanical things here. I believe they're nuts, and they mean bolts. And we can just use those to ride across various hazards here. It's an easy way to avoid those flamethrowers that are down there. And just make our way over here. This should be the end of the stage. Yep. We hop down, and it's time to face Wendy O. Koopa. So this boss is going to be a bit tricky. She will shoot out these rings from her wand in order to damage you. And yeah. That's definitely a tough one with the way the rings will just bounce around. And time for the gimmick with the airship levels. If you fail to clear the airship, it will fly away to a different section of the level, and then you have to chase after it. So I'm gonna pop a Just gonna pop a mushroom on us so that we're good and strong for this level. Ow! Oh, come on. I lost it already to the first hazard? Really? There should be another opportunity we can get a power-up. So we can heal this. For good. There we go. Oh, we're not good. Oh, man. Having to fight Wendy without a power is going to be so tough. She is a pain to deal with. So you gotta be careful. If you pinch Wendy's pennies, they'll pinch back. Wendy, of course, being the only one of the Koopalings that is female. And you can definitely tell just kind of the whole style she has going for her. She was also quite a brat in the Mario Bros. Cartoon. That was so long ago. Really? You just needed one hit on you left. Now it's gonna fly over there. Not too far away. What else can we use? We got another mushroom. Let's use this. I'm a little anxious about using up all of our powers just in the third world of this game because we got a lot more to do, but just wanna... Ow! Come on. It's the downside of bouncing off of these enemies. Sometimes you'll bounce on something you don't want to hit. Alright, I thought I could, like, cheese the level and just get over to the... Get over that mast there. Oh, just bouncing all over the place. God. Yeah. Definitely see how these levels are getting tougher as we're going through them. There's got a lot of challenges we still need to go through this game, but it's definitely one of the big ones having to deal with this area in particular. Alright, we should be good to face the boss now. Alright, Wendy, let's try this again. Oh! I thought I could hit her before the ring appeared. I'm really having a lot of trouble with this one. I apologize for this abysmal performance. There's no sense using a star in this area. Now, let's go for the leaf. This will give us a pretty good power here. And what's nice, bam, we just whack the rocky wrenches right as they're coming up. So that's helpful. I always really love the aesthetic of the airship levels. Because this whole set piece is really iconic. There's a reason the airships keep appearing as levels all throughout the Mario series. And this music, man, it's just so good. Really sells the atmosphere of just how dire of a spot you're in dealing with everything here. Let's get up here. Please face the boss properly this time. Alright, Wendy. Got a hit there. One more should do it. Alright, we'll take the hit, but that is it for Wendy. Woo! And with that, we have cleared World 3. Definitely took a while to take care of this one, given it had so many more levels compared to the first two worlds, but we're done. Hey, you look like me! Oh, thank heavens, I'm back to my old self again! Thank you so much! Here is a letter from the princess! No, seriously, that guy looks just like Mario. Greetings! The white block contains magic power that will enable you to defeat your enemies. I've enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool. Aw, thanks, Peach. Really appreciate that. Time for a world with some real good music. This world has a certain theme to it that I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy. Let's take the pipe over there, as I believe the other pipe will take us where the gate is by the fortress. Let us hop into this first area. Welcome to Giant Land. This area's gimmick is that there are large enemies. Just everything in general is big here. This is the Texas of the Mario universe. Because of that, we got these big blocks we can hit, large Koopas with the large shells we can kick around. A lot of very cool set pieces in this world. I definitely like it, and I feel like it's a fan favorite throughout the series. Just because of this one gimmick of everything being big. Well, you're not very big. Boo! With that, we cleared up another level. Yeah, this area, it's pretty dang cool. Sadly, we don't have anything to deal with this year, because we can break this rock that would allow us to access that mushroom house, and we'd be able to get some more powers. We're gonna have to wait on that for a while. Let's got ourselves another water stage here, this time in the giant world. Gotta be pretty careful as we're going through here. Right, we can grab that leaf there. See an opportunity for us to get some... Well, we can grab this star. It's obviously very good. This gives us an opportunity to just plow through enemies recklessly. Which is usually the best way of doing things when you're invincible. Thinking back to the Mario movie, just when Mario and Luigi get the Starman and are just able to use its power to dominate Bowser's forces. That's such a great scene, man. That movie has a lot of good moments. Even if a lot of people feel like it's very standard compared to, like, other movies. I don't know, I still really like it. But speaking of things involving Nintendo that have happened recently, we got some pretty big news with the... We finally got the reveal of the Nintendo Switch successor, the aptly named Switch 2. And that looks pretty good so far. Seems like it's just going to be a larger and more powerful Nintendo Switch, and that's perfectly fine. Because I'm already really love the Switch, one of my favorite video game consoles of all time. So I'm very excited for what the Switch will have, and especially with seeing how it's going to perform compared to some previous things it had. Alright, Toad, let's see what we got here. A mushroom. That's pretty generic compared to what we could have gotten, buddy. Alright, let's head over to level 3. So this level, I believe, has a new enemy for us. Yeah, this is the Sledge Bro. It's basically a Hammer Bro, but larger. And when it shakes the ground like that, that will temporarily stun you, so you want to be very careful with that. Let's deal with these buzzy beetles here. I'm always tempted to call these guys busy beetles for whatever reason. I think it had to do with me misreading their name when I was a kid. And then, of course, we got some spinies here. These are basically buzzy beetles, except they have spikes on their shells. Very nasty if they manage to hit you. They're really, really deadly. It seems here there might be a 1-up for us. If we can make it through this cavern in one piece. There we go. Nice, delicious life. I need to be really careful with this. Jump here, make a leap of faith, and you should be good. That is another level cleared. So that's, we got not that guy to deal with because he's just walking away. Okay, we'll deal with the fortress here. See what we got to see here. Oh, this one. So in this area, we have these candles here. And when you walk by, the candle flames will actually start to move. And yeah, that can be a real pain to deal with here. That part is always like really tricky, because if you are in Super Mario form, you have to duck with precise timing to be able to get through without getting hit by the thwomp. Also, I just like these rare occasions where we have sideways moving thwomps. Considering what we have seen previously in the series, it's very nice to have this little bit of variation. Got ourselves another Boom Boom battle. That one is pretty standard, nothing really special with it. Sadly, you fight one Boom Boom, you pretty much fought them all. There's very little variation to go for. Damn, that is a lot of hammer guys. And considering just how many of those there are, that does give me a good opportunity to use one of our items that we've had for a while now. We'll save that for a little bit, because we got some other things to take care of. Namely, this. Alright, we're going with Fire Flower here. And nope. Okay, so let's move on to a new stage. Level 4. So this seems to be another water area, but this one having a Lakitu who's going to be raining down some spiny eggs on us. So that is definitely going to be a bit of a pain to deal with this area. Spiny eggs, they also have a gimmick where after they land on the ground, they will turn into spinies. So it gives you a extra bit of a hazard to deal with in this area. But we should be pretty good. We've been through a few water stages now. We know how to traverse this area. We just have the added challenge of having a Lakitu here. But we're just able to take the pipe to the end, and that clears up another level. Alright, we're pretty close to getting another 5 up if we're careful. Be real good for us. And let's go grab this mushroom house. Pick a box! Its contents will help you on your way. I already know that. Ooh, a leaf. That's pretty good considering we used up quite a few of our items before. Alright, so this part, as we can clearly see on the map, there are a lot of these hammer bros over here. We could just fight these guys one-on-one to get to the levels, but we have this music box, and if we use it, it puts these guys to sleep. So now they are no longer a threat to us. That's a fun little way of being able to circumvent the challenge of dealing with the hammer guys. Ow. So of course we messed up on that, but we got our raccoon tail back. So this area is definitely going to have a lot of bullet bills. And then we got that glowy guy there. So that is a very special type of bullet bill. In fact, I think it actually has a unique name where it's called a homing homer. So that guy's gimmick is that he will, of course, home in on you after you manage to... after it passes you once, then it will just turn around and try to strike you again. Pretty nasty. But we got ourselves a new power here. So this is the Tanuki suit. It works very similar to the raccoon power that we have had previously. This one has an interesting gimmick to it that I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to show off here. Wait, just need to remember the correct method of doing this. Yeah, this power has the added effect of being able to turn into a statue, as this obviously has to do with the folklore of Tanukis and how they are said to possess transformation magic. Can be quite useful. You're invincible as long as you're in the statue form, and it can be quite nice for dealing with some stronger enemies around here. I'm very happy we got a lot of lives there. Those guys are still going to be asleep, so we're just going to let them rest and take care of what we can around here. Alright, this time we're going with the star. Not sure we're gonna get this. Nope. That would have been such an easy 5-up. And it seems like these guys are awake now. So we'll definitely deal with those guys in a little bit. Let's head to level 6 first. This area is thankfully not as long as the water area, so we should have a pretty easy time getting through here. Ow! Oh, of course we lost the Tanuki suit. It's really a pain because that power is really rare in this game. Oh yeah, this area also has an interesting gimmick to it. So see this door here? If we are just able to get past this guy and head for the door, now everything is tiny again. So yeah, it's a nice little variation on what we have seen before with this world, where we can now freely switch whether we deal with giant enemies or small enemies. Obviously, the smaller enemies are good for... they're not making things so compact. Just kick you over there so we can grab some stuff. Ooh, Starman. So definitely want this to get some kills in. Ooh, and 1-up. Very good. Alright, we dealt with a couple guys over there, so how about we switch over to Giant again? This reminds me of one of those stages from, the Subspace Emissary mode in. Man, I just got DP'd by turtles. Embarrassing. Ooh, and at this point we got 2 of these guys we have to deal with. You know what? Let's just use a star to deal with one of these guys, because I do not want to handle this. Yeah, just take out that Sledge Bro, and we get ourselves a P-Wing. Specifically, I believe that power-up is technically called the Power Wing. And I would definitely like to show off more of that, but it's a very rare power, and I would rather save it for a special occasion. Alright, let's see how we're able to do here. We already saw, like, the small version of part of this level, so let's see how we can handle the big portion here. So obviously, this guy is going to be larger, which gives us a bit more of a tricky situation here. But we can grab our star. We could have grabbed some coins, too. That would have been nice. Alright, I feel like for this section, being small would actually be pretty beneficial. Specifically for the guys over here. Yeah, these guys are smaller, so they're easier to take care of. Alright, now that we dealt with that, we just grab another one of these cards. Alright, pretty good. Ooh, and we got another game board we can do. So we managed to clear the last board we did. So that gives us a fresh one that we gotta take care of. Okay, 1-up. Let's try over here. Okay, so I know where one of the stars is gonna be for next time. Let's grab this mushroom house over here and see what we can grab from this guy. Alright, so we get a Tanuki suit from that house. Could be very nice for later. So before we deal with these hammer guys, let's clear up this last fortress. Because you can obviously tell the path ahead is going to be blocked until a little bit later. It's going to have to clear this area, believe it or not, before we can take on the next big challenge. Oh boy. I don't feel too good about dropping that donut platform here. Yeah, it's got to be really... Okay, I don't know why I didn't jump there. Clearly press the jump button. This is gonna be a tricky one to deal with. Alright, let's try this again. We're not gonna use one of our powers here. So right now, power really isn't going to be too useful here. Let's take out that guy, please. Thank you. No, how was that not good? Okay, specifically because this area is a bit of a pain, I think it's time we finally show off what the Power Wing does. So this basically enables you to have an unlimited amount of power when you're going through a level, as well as having the benefits of the raccoon power. So this makes us pretty darn potent. It's able to fly over any hazard we come across. It is real good. So, ooh, we can see there that there is a little secret hidden in the coins. We go in there, and that takes us over this way. So this area, I believe, has some nice things for us. Got these very interesting platforms. So if you jump on them, that gives you a lift in order to head further up in the stage. So go through here. That brings us over here. Alright. And if we head up here, that shoots us up there. Alright, we're just gonna fly past you because we have no reason to do anything else. This takes us over here where we can get a 1-up. Very nice. Nothing else, it seems. And that takes us over here. We can grab a bunch of more 1-ups. And if we fly this way, got a ton of coins. So yeah, we can definitely see how this, using the specific power, just gives you an easy way of being able to access a lot of secrets. So I'm actually pretty happy that I decided to use this power here. Otherwise, we would not have had an easy time getting through and getting to see these different things here. But we got ourselves another clash against Boom Boom to deal with. And like that, we lost our power. This guy's gonna be jumping around now. Ow, really? All of that! And then we die to Boom Boom. Oh, that is such a pain. Right. So I'm gonna try to beat this stage the legit way, which I'm thinking about what we need to do. It may require some very tricky parts here. Ugh. Oh no, that jump seems really difficult to do. It's like you barely can make enough momentum to get there. Seriously, how do we make that jump? I am very tempted to use another one of our power wings. I know it's a very rare power, but it makes this stage so much easier to go through. So we jump here. Right, jumping off of that guy enabled us to... Okay. That was what we needed to do. That was pretty insane there. Oh, we got a lot of dry bones down here. This ain't the best for us. Alright, can we jump off you, hit that, then let's just go. So we know where Boom Boom is, we can easily get to the end of this level. We already grabbed, like, all of the secrets in this area, so it's not really too important to me. God damn it, Boom Boom! I don't know why I'm just failing at the easiest shit right now, but that just seems to be what's going on here. That is the running theme of this stream in particular. So I guess while we're just navigating this area again, and now that we have shown off everything we can do in this level, I could briefly mention a few other things that have been going on recently. So something that I saw earlier that I found was quite interesting. Earlier on YouTube, I noticed that that there was a YouTube poop that got released pretty recently, and definitely had some interesting things going for it. It was like a collab of a bunch of different YouTube poop artists, and they just crafted this really incredible video was like nearly 2 hours long, and it was this really drawn-out adventure where King Harkinian from the Zelda CDI games was on an adventure to get condiments along with someone named Michael Rosen, and it was just such a meme fest, but in the best possible way. It was so entertaining. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. It's just incredible. Managed to grab a cloud by beating that Sledge Bro, and by beating that guy, we got a star. Alright, some pretty standard powers we got here, but I'll take it. Pretty good stockpile of items so far, which will be very useful as we're going into the next couple of areas. Hey, it's DK Jr.
Oh, it's terrible! The king has been transformed! Please find the magic wand so we can change him back!
So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know about that particular character, Donkey Kong Jr. was the protagonist of the aptly named game Donkey Kong Jr., which is pretty much Donkey Kong 2. And it's actually pretty funny to see him here, considering that Mario was actually the main antagonist of the game that Donkey Kong Jr. appeared in. So yeah, definitely a lot of interesting little Easter eggs we are seeing here. And considering what else we might expect to see as we go through this game, there is another potential cameo I am very interested in seeing, as I can definitely tell that they're probably going to be here. Let's just try to make our way through this stage. So the particular gimmick with this area is obviously the big flamethrowers that are just all over the place. Also, there's a hidden rocky wrench there. We didn't see him before. Alright. Got some more of these flamethrowers to deal with. We should be just about done here. Just got a few more of these to deal with, and we should be good. I don't know about you, but like, back when I used to play the Super Mario Maker games, the airship level theme was always one of the favorites that I would just love to do. There's something about the particular theming of just being up in the sky, battling enemies. It just feels good to me. I'm always just really gelled with this particular level scheme. It was a good one, and a fan favorite for a reason. But now that we're ended here, got ourselves a battle against Iggy Koopa. This guy I don't believe has too much of a gimmick. I think his main draw is that he likes to jump a lot. But we managed to take care of Iggy. It's also pretty sad to see him go, considering that Iggy is arguably my favorite of the Koopalings. I don't know what about it is. Maybe just the fact that he also wears glasses, like me, but I just really like him. Oh, thank heavens, I'm back to my old self again. Thank you so much. Here is a letter from the princess. Kinda sad to admit this, but I don't know if any of these kings have names. Greetings. The thief who stole the whistle has escaped to the east side of the sand dunes. I've enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool. Get ourselves another P-Wing from Peach for clearing that. But yeah, that's an interesting little message from Peach, that hints at something that we were able to do back in the second world. Kind of interesting that we only just got it now. But anyway, we got ourselves a new world to explore. World 5 here has got some interesting things for us to see. It's got the return of these guys, the Chain Chomps, which are just always such a pain to deal with. And then we got these guys. Those are munchers. They're like little piranha plants that will just try to chomp on you when you get close. Ow, come on. So this can be quite tricky to do. Alright, got the star. Just blast on through. Woo! Alright, that wasn't too bad of a level here. So got a few new encounters here. There's also that one enemy that we really didn't get a chance to talk about. Reminds me a great deal of one of the new enemies that appears in... Super Mario Bros. Wonder. If anyone's familiar with that. It's completely falling down here. Bull! I fell for hours! Well, it seemed like hours. We're just going down this pipe leading into this underground cavern. Whoop! So here's the gimmick of those guys. They will pick up anything that they see and then throw it at you. And of course I just die to the piranha plant. Now, I know we are about halfway through this game at this point, and I haven't really brought it up until now. But kind of an interesting quirk with this particular game is the fact that there just aren't any checkpoints in the levels. So you have to go through the levels on the first attempt. There is nothing else you can do about it. Really, how does not hit those guys when they were just able to chomp on me so easily? That was able to knock that guy away, and now we get flamed, of course. Piranha plants, I like you because you're iconic enemies, but at the same time, you give me a pain. Woo! Man, he actually managed to take out the piranha plants. Pretty funny. Alright, you can die. You can die. You can die. And what else we got over here? Yeah, these guys can be a little bit of a pain when they manage to grab something and throw it at you. So, definitely gotta watch out when they appear. But after getting through that pretty tricky level, managed to get ourselves another one-up at the end. And that gives us another attempt at the card game. Alright. And I'm thinking about what came up last time. No. I'm thinking about what it was that appeared. I believe, yeah, star, and I believe there's a star here. Very good. That's a fire flower. This enables it to grab another fire flower there. We got a one-up. I think there was a one-up there. Alright, pretty good. There's another flower. Let's try there. Alright. Just got another one of those. There's a star. Can we try there? Nope, mushroom. Okay, we did a pretty good attempt there. Got ourselves a lot of good items, too. Alright, so it seems like, if I'm remembering things correctly, we should have 4 inventory slots. So, by this point forward, we are definitely gonna try to make the use of our items, because we can start to fill up and lose access to anything good. Ooh, we got another Tanuki suit. That'll be pretty helpful in some of the later stages. Alright, let us take this pipe over here to get over to the other area. Now, I would say what the theme of this area is, but I'm going to say that for a little bit later. Let us take on this fortress. This area I remember being a bit interesting. Alright, if I was large, we could break through that and see what's up there. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a big task for us. Woo! Be real careful, that flump guy. There's a mushroom hidden there we can grab. And just let the disco waffles pass. Nope. Of course, I had to screw that up. Woo! That's close. Let's make a jump here. Alright, this part is a little mean with that flump there. If we can trick you into jumping down there, we can just quickly get across here. And got ourselves a battle against Boom Boom now. Alright, what that guy sliding around the ground there? That was weird. Alright, with that we managed to take out another Boom Boom and another Fortress Falls. And that opens up a bridge back over to the starting area, which is quite helpful. So a particular gimmick with this game is that if you choose to save and quit, and then restart your file, well, then when you manage to reload your file, well, any level that you had previously cleared would be reset back into its normal position. This happens for every level except for ones like the fortresses. So you're just completely able to make use of the shortcuts opened up by the fortresses should you choose to save and reload your file. It is definitely very convenient. But we're not going to be taking too much advantage of that during this playthrough for obvious reasons. Because another bad aspect about reloading your save is that you will lose any 1-ups you have accumulated. And I want to make sure we have plenty of these going forward. We got ourselves a new enemy over here. That's a Goomba in what's known as a Karibo shoe. And if we are just very careful, manage to hit the Karibo Goomba from below, this gives us the ability to actually ride inside the boot, which is very nice because we are functionally invincible as long as we are inside this boot. It's able to jump on whatever we come across. Piranha plants, chompers, it doesn't matter what we're up against. They will all fall before our mighty boots. This is quite a unique power, and I'm very sad that it doesn't appear in more games. Like, I know they appear in Super Mario Maker, and I'm very thankful for that because they lead to a lot of cool level design gimmicks. But yeah, this is a power that I wish appeared more in a lot more games, since this is basically the only level in the game that's really going to feature the Karibo shoe. It's a cool power, wish it was used more often. Alright, but now that we've dealt with that, time for some more battles. Got some hammer bros here. Please jump down. Yeah, that takes care of you. That gets us another power wing. Very nice. That power is going to be pretty helpful in some of the levels coming up, I know for a fact. And let's take care of this guy too while we're here. Seeing these Hammer Bros also reminds me there's a pretty funny moment in Brothership involving Hammer Bros that I managed to get to a few days ago. And I just really got a kick out of that particular scene. It's very funny. But anyway, time to move on to the next area here. So this level is pretty interesting. We got this big tower that's in a spiral formation. Quite unique compared to some of the other set pieces we've seen in this game. And yeah, we can definitely expect some interesting things with this level. Gotta be very careful with the thwomp there. And there's another thwomp to deal with. Ow! So don't like that I took that hit, but what can you do? So now we're up top the tower. This little space with all these blocks. And managed to make to the higher levels. Definitely an interesting little gimmick here. We're basically scaling this massive tower in order to try to get to the next part of the map, which is really cool. The layout of this area also kind of reminds me of a few biblical references. Like, I believe this tower is meant to be a reference to the Tower of Babel, which was a pretty important area in some mythologies. But by taking that tower up, welcome to the Sky World. This is the gimmick of the 5th area. So we got ourselves a big map here full of levels to take care of. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big area to deal with. Got these propeller platforms we got to deal with. But at the very least, we have our... You know, we have the raccoon power in order to help us out around here. Don't believe going in that water there is going to help us, so don't even think about going down there. Whew, that actually wasn't too bad. And we got a Lakitu here trying to just bombard us right at the end of the level, like the jerk he is. Go back to holding the street lights in Mario Kart, darn it. Let's move on to level 5. Ow, lost our power already. And we got it back, never mind. This area's gonna be a little interesting. We got those bricks over the pipes that we can break, enabling us to access the secret area with another Tanuki suit. Very good. This area is pretty tricky, though. You want to make sure you not... Oh, come on! We lost the frickin' Tanuki suit for the vastly inferior raccoon form. It's not very good. So yeah, a bit of an interesting thing regarding the distinction between the raccoon and the Tanuki form is that in later games they basically combine the two forms together, where the Super Leaf would give you the Tanuki suit instead of just turning you into a raccoon. And I quite like that variation on the power a lot more. Feel like just in general that's a lot better. Yeah, we already messed that one up. That is one messed up star. Okay, let us move on. Feel like we could potentially finish this world in this session. Alright, so we got a interesting level gimmick here. We have these little guys, which I believe are called Parabuzzies. Or Parabeetles. They will be serving as platforms in this level. So I want to be very careful. So I'll make sure to grab our raccoon power there, as that's going to be very helpful for navigating this area. So yeah, we got some pretty tricky platforms to get through in this section. The Parabeetles definitely help out with dealing with some of the hazards here. And then we got ourselves a new enemy. That is called a Fire Chomp. As you would expect from its name, it is a fire guy. Shoot fireballs at you, then just turn into a normal orb. Thankfully, you are able to just jump on it. And that enemy also has another gimmick where after it's used up all of the fireballs it carries, it will blow up after a few seconds. So you definitely want to watch out for that when it happens. Alright. Let us try this again. So got a mushroom there, and the star was there, right? And mushroom, mushroom. Very good. And you see there, star, and I know there's a star there. Very nice. I got mushroom and mushroom. Wow, we're just having a pretty easy time with this now. Okay, 20 coins. Let's try there. No, 10 coins. Well, we tried our best. Okay, but with that, we have now filled up our inventory with items. So, we're not going to go to that mushroom house yet. Got ourselves a big cloudy area here. Probably expect a few surprises hidden around this area. Is that we got those block guys back from the desert area to deal with. I'm not expecting this to be too bad. Okay, the bricks do give them immunity to fire, so that's something we have to deal with. Right, can we just get out of here, please? Ha! Take that. Oh, yep, so this is the main hazard of this area. We got a Lakitu to deal with here, but if we just manage to get on through this pipe, it takes us to the end here. And once again, assaulted by Lakitus. These guys, please just leave us alone. Alright, that went pretty well. And we're still full on items here. Yeah, we only got a few levels left in order to take care of this area, so we just carefully get on through. Oh, so this area is interesting. It's got a lot of fire in this area. It's got lava on the ground and in the ceiling. Seriously, who does the interior decorating for all of these fortresses? I mean, considering the kind of person Bowser is, yeah, this is just oozing with his aesthetic, just having fire and lava all over the place. Because, spoilers, Bowser is the ultimate threat of this adventure that we gotta deal with. But we're not gonna see him until, well, the end of the game. For the most part, we're just dealing with his armies as well as his adoptive children. And with that, we take care of another Boom Boom. Sorry, buddy, but that really is all you're gonna deliver us. Alright, so now that we cleared that, the path forward is free to us. Alright, let's try this game again. I can never figure out the timing for getting this. Oh, we were so close to getting that. That star has 2 smiles. Alright, so this level, what can we expect to see? Because pretty much every level has had a gimmick so far. So far, this one seemed pretty normal. Nope, it's a Lakitu in the clouds. So yeah, nothing we haven't already seen at this point. But yeah, still a pain to deal with. We're able to make use of the... I was thinking about the Koopa shells, but then I remembered that throwing items up was only introduced in Super Mario World, so we can't do that here in this game. Alright, at least we managed to get some more lives from that. Very bueno. Now that we've taken care of that, we can move on over to level 9. And this one is an auto-scrolling level. So this one is probably going to be pretty tricky, because we got to make sure that we get on the platforms at the proper timing, as we do have to play at the pace that the level is giving us. If you are too late with some of your jumps, you will not be able to finish up this area. So, come on. That was just mean. Let's take this opportunity to get a power here. We got plenty of mushrooms, so let's just use one of those, and then we can use this mushroom hut. We'll take a fire flower. Alright, those are always good to have on stockpile. So we definitely see the raccoon power being really good here. And the power wing would obviously be really good, because you can just circumvent the auto-scrolling portion of this level completely. Just staying in the air, not having to worry too much about the platforming challenges. I want to jump right there. There we go. So that was actually a pretty tricky one. Oh, we got a fire chomp in an auto-scrolling level. So yeah, that is a pain to deal with. Just bonk you there. Probably gonna see another one of these guys. Yup, what did I tell ya? Just we gotta be very careful. Alright, made it to the end. Let's get in there. Get out of here. Whew, yeah. Definitely one of the trickier levels in this world. And then we get another one of these card challenges we can do. Alright, the only thing we're gonna be rewarded here are coins, given what we saw here before. So, let's just grab these and finish up the board. Very nice. Alright, then we got Hammer guy over here to deal with. So, let's just use a star. I don't really see much use for these things other than these challenges, really. And with that, we got a music block. Alright, could be pretty helpful in some of the later stages. And with that, it's time to take on the airship.
Oh, it's terrible! The king has been transformed! Please find the magic wand so we can change him back!
So this time the king has been turned into an albatross from Super Mario Bros. 2. Also known as Doki Doki Panic. Alright, so what's the gimmick gonna be with this airship? Alright, we got cannons, we got flamethrowers. I love just standing on top of the cannons so that you take out the cannonballs as soon as they get fired out. It's always a very fun little gimmick. Also, what's nice about these airships, you can find a way to circumvent the bullet bills by staying next to the bill blasters, because they will not fire unless you are in range. It's a very nice way of being able to deal with them. Got some more cannonballs here. Definitely see a lot of artillery being used here. Bowser is really amping up the firepower of his army here. So you can obviously tell, after the events of the first game, Bowser's really out for blood. And it's time to take on the boss. This time we got Boy Koopa. This guy is able to shake the ground with his jumps. Ow! Dang, we just ran face first into this guy. Yeah, much like the Sledge Bros, Boy Koopa is able to stun you, so be very careful with that. We got plenty of mushrooms. Let's just go ahead and use these. Really not going to be needing too many of them going forward. Got a save room in our inventory for the higher tier powers. Especially with one that we're going to be able to get in the next world. It's definitely one of the rarer powers in the game, and I want to make sure we hold on to those ones as much as we can. Also, don't know how much more useful the frog suit is going to be. Like, I know there are going to be more water levels as we progress in this game, but they're not going to be too abundant compared to some of the other level gimmicks we've seen. Alright, we should be getting close to the end here. Let's see if we could jump back up to the top here to be able to completely circumvent, like, all of the challenge there. Alright, so we do have the Fire Flower. This could give us a nice edge against the boss here. As much like regular enemies, the bosses can also be damaged by the fireballs if you're very careful. But with that, we managed to take care of Boy Koopa. I like his shades, but besides that, really not much else going for him.
Oh, thank heavens! I'm back to my old self again! Thank you so much! Here is a letter from the princess!
Greetings. Be careful in the ice world. The creatures trapped in the ice will come to life if warmed. I've enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool. And with that, I think we're going to call it here for now. Managing to make our way to World 6, and we still got quite a ways to go in our adventure. But next time in Super Mario Bros. 3, we should be clearing up World 6 and potentially World 7, just depending on how we're able to progress through things. So until next time, have a good day and take care.